They could pass it out for free, and I don't think we could pass out 100,000 copies, I would hope, in America. The hate that emerged in the 1930s, as it emerged, most people turned a blind eye. I truly believe in their heart of hearts they knew, but they did not want to see it. They chose not to stare evil straight in the eye, and it only made things worse. It was easier for them, I think, at the time, but it became much harder, I hope, as time went on. Even Oskar Schindler was happy to get rich off the Nazis and enjoyed increased status at first. But once he woke up and faced it, it changed his whole life. He would never again be able to look at any possession without thinking of the evil that needlessly killed so many. 70 years later, I believe the world is beginning to find itself in a similar situation. And we have a choice right now, and it's an easy choice. The same hatred is emerging. From the shadows, it is coming out again. And once again, the fingers are beginning to point to Israel, to the Jew. And again, for some reason, even here in America, we are turning a blind eye. There were a few awake last time. And there was all kinds of excuses. This time, there is no excuse. We have electronic global television. We can see what the people in the Middle East are saying as they chant, "Kill the Jew." And we have history to say to us, don't take those people lightly. If they say we're going to wipe out a whole race of people, they usually do. My goal on this program, what time I have left here, is to make sure that I can shake up enough people, shake you awake. Do you know what you will be like when it is tough to do something? This is an encyclopedia among the righteous of the nations. These are the names of the people who helped save a Jew. Look at the Netherlands. Look at France, Belgium, Poland. But this is everybody else. This one volume, here's America. Germany. It's easy to stand up now. You could put a yard sign now and scare the monsters back into the shadows. It only gets tougher. It only gets tougher, as it has in the past. I'll explain what this is in 3 different languages. All you really need to know on this is you help a Jew and you'll be shot. The Oskar Schindlers of the world knew that they were putting their life on the line. But it didn't matter to them because they also knew that staring this evil in the face and doing nothing just to live another day was a far worse punishment than anything the Nazis could dish out. They changed the course of the world, and in doing so, they gave fellow human beings profound hope in not a sea but an ocean of darkness. We must be, as they were, the righteous among the nations. But I don't know if that's something that a lot of people just stumble into. You have to fix yourself first. You may not understand exactly how, in your little slice of your world, you make a difference. But I promise you, you make a difference. I promise you. If you just be who you're supposed to be, not who you've allowed yourself to become, you will make a difference. And he who saves a single life saves the entire world. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to some amazing people. People who are alive because of one reason: courage. People like Christine, who lived underground, lived in a sewer with her family when she was 8 years old. She's here she's here with her husband, who was saved by Oskar Schindler. You're going to meet 2 sisters who were saved because a family hid them in an attic. You will meet people who risked everything to save people, like the son of a Spanish diplomat who saved thousands of Jews in France by granting them visas to escape. You will hear their stories, and I hope find your way and your place in the world when we come back. Tonight, there is, this is a show where we're going to need 2 hours. There is a concerted effort around the world to diminish or deny the Holocaust. And when this generation is gone, no one will be there to look you in the eye and say, I was there. When this generation passes, people like Ahmadinejad, who diminish it bit by bit, become stronger. Today, I am joined by survivors, people who were children when they lived through it. They lived through the Holocaust. I want to introduce you to Christine Heger. Karen, she survived 14 months living underground in a sewer in Poland. Christine's husband, Marion, is also a survivor. He was saved by Oskar Schindler. Ruth Backner was hidden by nuns living in a convent. We have, you know what? Let me start with first Christine and Marion, and just spend a couple of seconds with you first, and then we'll introduce everybody else that is here. I heard your story about the green sweater and living in a sewer for 14 months when you were eight years old.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine what your parents went through. What are your recollections of living first in the sewer?
I remember everything because, you know, this is so shocking that experience like this you don't forget. And it was, I remember the night that we came to the sewer. My father pushed me because I was afraid to go. It was darkness and terrible noise of falling water. It was a pewter.
I'm gonna show the picture. Can you put the picture? This is you standing at the sewer cover.
Yes.
Where do we have it?
Yes.
Standing at the sewer cover. It's coming, but this is you going back and seeing this.
This is 3 years ago when I went first time to Lvov to visit.
And that's you standing by the sewer cover. That's where your father said, "Get down in that hole."
No. This is where the place that we came out after the liberation.
All right.
Yes. When we went in, it was from a block in the ghetto that my father and 2 other people, they dig a tunnel to get to the sewer. And the entrance to the tunnel and the noise of the water, it was so terrible. I will never forget. I even, sometimes, you know, I have a dream that I wake up with the fear. And it was a terrible experience.
The person who saved your family was a thief.
He was a small thief before he found, you know, small things. He was in prison a few times, but then he was working for the sewer department in Lvov. And my father, when he was digging from the from ghetto, he was digging the entrance to the sewer, he met him. Because he and other 2, they were walking, checking if everything is okay in the sewer, and they met my father.
You remember him bringing you to a place where you could see daylight just a little bit.
Yes, because after a few months when we were sitting there, we never saw a daylight, and I got depressed, and I didn't want to talk to anybody and to eat. And Soha, this is the man who saved us, when he brought us food, he was coming every day and bringing us food. He didn't walk, he crawled. And he took me to a space, he put me up, and he said, look at the light. You, in few little time, you have to be patient, but you will see the light, you will live outside like everybody else. And then he brought me up, and it was really, for me, it was a medicine. I started to be a normal kid.
Your husband, Marion, was your family saved by Oskar Schindler?
Well, not my family, myself and my mother, basically. And why he saved it is because before we went to the ghetto, Oskar Schindler used to live close by, next building on street Straszewskiego 7, and we used to live Straszewskiego 9. And one of his friends used to live in our apartment. So he was coming quite often, and my mother spoke perfect German, and she served him tea and everything else. So that's how we tend to know each other. We weren't on the Schindler's List.
Right.
However, after that, when we went to the ghetto, and then with liquidation of ghetto, and my mother and myself were sent to concentration camp, labor camp, the same what you saw on Schindler's List, what happened. And thanks to him, we managed to get out because he somehow bribed the guard, or actually said that my mother will bribe the guard, and we left the Płaszów.
Your families, was there ever talk afterwards where was everyone else? Why are there only so few? Where is everyone? Because your parents were old enough to have friends, and were they all Jewish? Or did your parents not look at the society they were living in and saying, what happened to people?
Well, they lived basically among themselves, among the Jews.
But they still were part of a society that they didn't have to be friends. I mean, I don't have friends in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a state. Well, let me use New Hampshire. I don't have a lot of friends in New Hampshire, any friends that I know of in New Hampshire. But I'm still part of the same society. If New Hampshire all of a sudden started putting, killing people en masse, I would say, well, what happened? Or if I went up to New Hampshire and they were trying to, kill people like me, I would still say, well, what happened to the people of America? Can anybody relate to that? Can anybody talk about that?